Hello everyone, I'm Boichi, YouTuber and mangaka. I am very happy to be able to tell you two very good on news about Brazil. What if the manga world was born all over the world? By the way, what should we do when the first manga medium is born? I would like to discuss my proposal. For 70 years in Japan, there has been no change in the world of manga. The created system was maintained for 70 years. For the first time in 70 years, there was big changes. This means that there were also a big change in 1950s. Before that, there was also a world of manga. The 1950s saw a period of change, and the current system was created. So we are again in a period of great changes. In my opinion, more than that, I think it will be a great transformation. Korea has been changing surprisingly, once every 10 years. Since the 1970s, the Korea manga market has declined many times. I've seen this manga market so big fall and climb again many times. So in this process, I will show when the manga market was born, what is needed to create better. What should we do to grow quickly? Another thing I learned was when the manga industry was born, she was the starting point to the world of manga. And if there is a small mistake over a long period of time, this becomes a weakness for the whole industry. So this weakness can get stronger. I've been in this market for a long time, so I was thinking about how to minimize these weaknesses to be able to grow quickly and successfully. So what is this method? Well then, let's start. Well, first of all, media direction must be clear. To be specific, the means through which we want to create comics is webzine, online magazine. Is it a platform, or is it part of a larger service? Or is it something new, something different from everything? Are you going to make only webtoons? Or would you rather do something more diverse? Will you target a specific consumer? Will the target audience be a broad consumer base? Is the objective on a global or local scale? Are both goals? Set a clear direction from the start. Start with a plan. Between them, is it a webzine or a platform? To clarify this, what is a webzine? Korean webtoons are famous, right? Webtoons were born in 2004. Between 1999 and 2002, there was an era of webzines in Korea. Maybe you don't know much about it. There was a webzine and there were many experiments. So webzines and platforms are different. As the name suggests, a webzine is a virtual magazine, is a digital service in magazine format. The medium format of the manga is by platform system, but Jump Plus is not a platform. Jump Plus is an electronic magazine. YouTube is a platform. Netflix is also a platform. Can you differentiate? They are not magazines. The webzines, like all magazines, are the areas where services are provided, areas where the manga business are legally permitted, target one specific audience in the territory. This is how magazines is different from newspaper, targeting some readers, targeting boys, targeting women, and so on. Or maybe the target audience is people who like action manga. The platform targets all readers, and where it is legally permitted to serve. To reach readers of all ages, our aim is to provide all kinds of comics or cartoons of all areas. This is the platform, right? This needs to be clear because the difference is greater than you think. So what are some of the top services? To give an example of what exists, the controlling company of Line Comics is Webtoon Entertainment. The parent company of Webtoon Entertainment is a company called Naver in Korea. For example, Line Manga is a platform in Japan. In Korea, there is a service called Naver Webtoon, is part of a portal service called Naver. That's why Naver Webtoon's business strategy is make the portal a success. In Korea, there is a service called Naver Webtoon. Therefore, Naver Webtoon's business strategy is inevitably make a portal called Naver a success, right? This can have very important advantages. What are the advantages? You can receive very stable support and protection. Isn't it a big advantage? Well, for example, what if YouTube or Netflix got into the manga business? You would receive a lot of protection and support. Instead, we must contribute to the success of YouTube and Netflix. So why is it good for a company doing business in the manga industry, the manga business? Keep visitors involved for a long time and at low coster. Production cost is also low and doesn't consume much data. It also uses very few network features. We can provide a cartoon with hundreds of resources that a single video uses. That means even less carbon dioxide emissions. Carbon dioxide emissions are a hot topic of debate these days. It is possible to offer a manga service in a data center without generating almost any damage. So it would be great if we could use that advantage. The place to do this is Naver. If you look closely at this world and think carefully about the use of cartoons and manga, the possibilities are endless. Why don't you provide services like this? You must be thinking, right? You can start your manga business in your country with any means, but the advice I would like to give is the bigger the better. Big works are very important, then the bigger the better. Being big means that the platform is bigger than the webzine. The platform is the best possible if you are starting out and have a small business and is trying to grow. First, we need to increase the scale. I'll think about net profit later. It's a good idea to try to increase the size. Why is it good to try to increase the size? There are many reasons for this. First, the golden period for the growth of comic media. Small scale in each country may be shorter than expected. However, it might be shorter than you might think. That's why you have to grow up before that. The bigger the market, the better. And webzines are absorbed anyway. When a platform is created and are subordinated, regardless of whether or not to survive. And I look at the manga media for every country. The second advice I'd like giving to the one about to create is, you shouldn't start with a free service. It's a very easy idea to get started with a free service. I'm sorry, but that's an incredibly naive idea, and that has an enormous cost. In the 1990s, when the internet was spreading, at the time the IT business emerged, there was something called copyleft. It is based on the concept of copyleft. So the idea of doing this for free, it was released before 2004. And content services that were created before 2004, first, has become a system created based on, in which it is provided free of charge. Steve Jobs changed the world. The way we do business today is underlying in front of that copyleft. But you all know, providing this for free makes people come together. There have been times when something was given for free and people didn't show up. That's why it's easy. That's why it's not something new. It's been 20 years since that Steve Jobs showed us the right direction. It's been a while since Netflix showed the right direction. So how do we get people together? How do you encourage subscriptions? How do I pay? This is not free. Should be done with other modifications, not with free services. This means you shouldn't provide the service free of charge. Conceive another powerful attraction. Don't just trust the display of something free and plan a powerful attraction. Okay, next is the third point. It is closely related to the idea that the bigger the better. If possible, I recommend starting from scratch, creating 100 series in your country. I said size matters. Scale may vary, but between them, what I consider important is, in the initial phase, it is ideal to have an average of 100 writers in your country. If you do, can grow quickly, because it can create and boost a strong manga industry, and the beginning is 100 people. It is approximately the size of 4 manga magazines. If I say 100 people, it may seem like a lot, but when I say 4 comic magazines, suddenly it looks too small. Then at least 100 people. There was a manga webzine in which I was involved in 2001, but the series had 150 people. There were 150 titles, dividing into 3 sessions and explaining briefly. Each session, each one contained 50 works. If it happens, can grow quickly in the golden age, and it's good even at the early stage. How I was talking about the session just now, you can start telling the story of your country with manga. We need to have diversity in manga and comics. We need to embrace diversity from the beginning. One day everything will become more diverse, but it's not as easy as you think. What happened in the world of Japanese comics is a miracle. But what if we started with a diverse, rich comic book from the beginning? Miracles can be created by yourself. To start on a scale so big and grow fast, what do you need? It is really necessary that your country has so many great aspiring mangaka? Of course it's necessary, you would say, but surprisingly it is not. Aspiring mangakas are less important than you might think. So what's important? Capital is the key. The essential element of IT, it's raising capital. If you invest in the capital guarantee, aspiring mangakas, in terms of quantity and quality, will certainly grow. Without a place to debut, it's a miracle that aspiring mangakas from their country have that skill level. You're already doing great. You studied a lot even with nowhere to debut. You have protected your dream of becoming a mangaka. I've been watching you for a long time. I would like to commend this aspirant who aspires to be a professional so that these people have more skills. To make you try harder, someone has to give us a chance and invest in us. Capital for business is guaranteed through investments. This is very important. So how should we invest abroad? We need to present a great vision. A great vision is a vision, the potential world of manga. The vision of great development. A vision to nurture artists and create jobs. A vision to contribute to the national and cultural industry. Any of these help the scenario. You too visualize a great view. Convince investors with this vision. Or you can persuade the government to support you. Get investment. Invest that capital in aspiring mangakas. Give it a chance. If you fail, look for another chance to get up again. That's what happened in Korean film industry in the 1990s. And the distribution of profits must be good. Give creators a big cut of what readers pay. IT allows that you have a surprising number of writers that you wouldn't imagine publishing. You can create a lot of content. The profit margin doesn't matter. Profit margins don't matter in the content business. Profit margins become important someday. But no matter when you start and grow up, companies shouldn't try to make considerable profits through revenue distribution. In the content branch, what companies do is not that important, especially comics. It is more important in movies. In comics, it is less important than in movies. A mangaka does basically everything. So it's important that they are good at it. It is important that mangakas are motivated. It is important to bring many quality people to manga industry. This is the key. It is profit distribution. If many writers produce many works, the company's profit margins are sure to increase. In the content business, companies profit with great success. We have to try to make a big success. You shouldn't try to charge a price by the writer's work, because the number of writers will decrease. The number of people trying to sell is decreasing, and the number of works is also decreasing. This does no good for the company, but a great sharing of profits can have a huge positive impact on the world. That means it will give you tremendous power globally. The division of profits will give you a lot of power. Now here is the most important. If you don't receive a lot of investment and does not have enough capital, it is better to make slightly spicy drawings.